The IQ Podcast. Discussion about cybersecurity, business intelligence, consulting, and DevOps. For the domain industry, by the domain industry. Hi, everyone. Welcome to the IQ Podcast and video interview. I'm your host, Pinky Brand. And this is lucky episode number 13. And why is it lucky? Because we get to talk with our CTO at IQ, Mr. LG Forsberg. Hello, good afternoon.
Hey, Pinky. Nice to be back.
It is good to be back. And sometimes I'm wondering if I really miss being able to sit down and have a beer with you. You know, we're doing all this stuff virtually, and maybe we should just start calling this, beer with LG or something instead of the IQ podcast. But
yeah. I think I have a solution to the bear problem. We can talk about that a little bit later.
That's right, folks. You can need to hang around so you can understand exactly those comments. But seriously, we're here to talk about the Abuse Manager. Abuse Manager version 2 just came out in beta about a month or so ago, I believe, and we've been talking about that on social media lately, but I thought it'd be a great opportunity now to sit down and talk with you and understand a little bit more about what's behind version 2 of the Abuse Manager and some of your favorite features. So take it away.
Yeah. So as some that have followed IQ for a long time knows, the IQ Abuse Manager was previously called RegistryOffice Abuse Monitor, and it's been around for quite a while, over 4 years, and since then it's served more than 5 million abuse cases. In our database, we have over 4 million abuse reports right now. We have over 30 million old abuse reports that have expired, and we have during the years added more threat intelligence feeds. We've added features. We've tried to do make the most out of what Abuse Manager was, but it hasn't really ever gotten a refreshed UI, a UI that follows the here and now of working with abuse cases. So earlier this year, actually back in May, we set out to overhaul the UI of Abuse Manager, and we started calling it Abuse Manager version 2. But as we moved into that, we realized that there were quite a bit of low-hanging fruit in features that we could quite easily add to the Abuse Manager and make the everyday life of our customers dealing with abuse on a scale easier and faster without losing any type of control or quality. So while the biggest change in Abuse Manager version 2 is definitely the refreshed UI, every view that we offer have gotten a new look, an overhaul, more information to dig into. That we have also managed to add quite a few new features that we're super happy about. So in Abuse Manager version 1, the dashboard and the case management view was one and the same. You had a bit of statistics in the top, and then you had your case management system or view below that. In Abuse Manager version 2, we split these up into a dashboard with statistics and graphs of what your situation looks like right now. And we view this as kind of the report that you can show to the management or the board, high level. They can have one view and see what is happening right now and what happened in the past. How are we improving the situation?
The look and feel in the UI is definitely. I just was blown away by the change in the look, and then the usefulness of the data that now appears on the homepage of the dashboard.
Yeah, it is quite the difference, and we we envisioned this as a modern enterprise solution where the look and feel needs to be not only easy to read, easy to take in, but also very fast in doing what it's supposed to do. So that's something that we've been working quite a bit on and continue to work on. And today, like the interface before was a little bit more colorful. Today we have a white background where colors are easier to see and dark text is easier to read. And a little bit of a teaser I could mention is that we are actually very close to having a dark mode available for Abuse Manager, which is something we look forward to be able to offering our customers.
That makes me very happy. I love dark mode.
There's definitely two camps today with the light mode and the dark mode. Otherwise, the case management view is still there, but highly updated with a more of a grid solution than the old table solution, where you can easily sort, filter, and actually even group cases together, and thus have a very quick and easy overview to either export or to edit. You can, without a problem, select 5,000 abuse cases and commit an edit to them that will take in a matter of seconds and show up in the grid. It's very, very configurable, very fast to work with, and it's very, very powerful for big operations. For example, if a top-level domain name customer has a set of 5,000 reports that all regard domain names with the same registrar, they can easily select them, and they can use the system to contact the registrar, and they can edit the cases very, very quickly. We have also in Abuse Manager version 2 started offering more and more reports about what's been in the past and what is happening now. Configurable, you can export them, and we look forward to getting feedback on these and seeing what more reports we can actually do in the future. The system has become a lot more configurable, so the amount of settings you can actually make in the Abuse Manager has been extended quite a bit. This goes as well for the Ruleset, which is one of my favorite features, where you can, based on what type of report we're talking about, where it's coming from, you can set it. You can hand it over to a specific abuse agent. You can set the priority of it. If you want to work by prioritization, you can set, say, any phishing case as a highest priority and a spam case as maybe a medium or normal priority, to be able to help the abuse agents get to the important cases first. The rule set is also something that we are extending upon rapidly, and where we take every piece of feedback into consideration.
So the rule set can be customized if someone has a particular type of situation or policy or procedure. It's possible to customize some of those rule sets.
Oh yes, the rule set is fully customizable, and the rule set can do a lot of things. Anything from changing what happens to a case or report when it's created, to actually even integrate with an external system by a webhook, or by sending an email to an email-based ticketing system. There's a lot of things that the rule set can do, and it's only getting more in the future. We are adding both events, so events that happen in the system, and reactions that those events can result into. Another thing that is new for Abuse Manager version 2 is the Threat Intelligence Marketplace, which is basically a candy store for making sure that you're getting all of the DNS abuse reports that you could. From the start, a new account with us will have access to all of the base feeds, but there are premium feeds that you can add through the Threat Intelligence Marketplace to get even more information about DNS abuse that is going on the domain names that Abuse Manager monitors for you. You can also use the Threat Intelligence Marketplace to turn off a specific threat intelligence feed in case that feed does not cater to what you want to achieve. We are continuously adding new threat intelligence feeds to this marketplace. We have 2 coming in right now. Can't really talk about what they are yet, but they are substantial, and I think they will both bring something that different customers of ours are looking for.
When we're looking at the different threat intelligence feeds, those that might be suggested by customers or those that we're just becoming aware of, or those that we're just ordinarily investigating, what types of criteria do you find it's important for users to benefit from when deciding to actually onboard a particular threat intelligence feed or reputation block list?
I think you're actually mentioning one of the most important things, and that is the usefulness for our customers. We do we have a vetting process that is quite extensive. We look very harshly on false positives, make sure that any feed that we onboard has a low rate of false positives. Now, false positives can be hard to detect, and they can also be of different sorts. But it is something that we look extensively into. We look also very closely at how often the source is updated. If reports in the feed is closed when the domain name has been if the domain name has gone away, or the actual case of DNS abuse has gone away. That is something we call freshness. So we want feeds to be updated regularly, both with new reports, but also with reports that has actually gone away. We also look at different types of feeds that can be interesting for different types of customers. So earlier, or actually late 2020, we integrated with Scam Advisor, which is a brilliant example of a source or a feed that is different than our normal, but is still interesting to customers. And Scam Advisor uses an algorithm to figure out or to score a domain name and say how likely it is that they are doing something bad. And for someone that wants to be very proactive and very on top of things, this can actually be an early warning towards domain names that might end up being used for abuse in the future. So, which is not something for everyone. If you just want to know when abuse happens and you want to work to mitigate that, then it's maybe not the feed that you're going to be mostly interested in. But some customers are. There are also threat intelligence feeds out there that are purely predictive, which uses other terms to figure out how likely it is for a domain name to be used for abuse, such as domain generation algorithms that is used by malware and botnets to create domain names and use them to communicate using DNS. Also something that might not be interesting or worthwhile for everyone to look at, but it is something that we want to support. So the usefulness for at least one of our customer groups is very important. And overall, we look very closely at the feed, and if there's a usefulness for customers, if it has a certain type of quality that we're looking for, then we will definitely integrate with it. One thing that this new threat intelligence marketplace and the features and functionalities around that also brings is that we are able to bring on what we call bring your own license. So customers that have licenses for either one of the feeds that we offer, one of our premium feeds, they can actually get access to that in Abuse Manager without paying it through us by proving to us that they have a license for that feed. We can also do bring your own license for a feed that we have not yet implemented for a time and materials implementation fee, which usually ends up being rather low. So there's that.
Very nice.
And to speak a little bit more about the features that we've added in version 2, I have another favorite of mine, which is inbound email reports. And this is a feature that's been requested, maybe not exactly in this form, but has been requested by customers basically since the Abuse Manager started. And that is a system where you, the customer, have an email, specific email with Abuse Manager, where you can send reports in via email, where you can either send them in as a regular email, which will end up with next time you log into Abuse Manager, you will get a pop-up where you can, or a modal where you can categorize the report and create a case and a report from it. However, you can also give the domain name and the category of the abuse in the subject of the email, and thus have a case and a report created automatically. And this, of course, is handy for people that wants to create cases in Abuse Manager manually. They can do it from using an email client or a ticketing system. However, this also means that Abuse Manager, without a big effort, can act as the recipient for an abuse report email form, something that many registrars and registries, registrars and hosting companies offer today, where they can have an email form on their website which directly emails into the Abuse Manager system, and the report ends up in their case management system so that they can handle it alongside the other abuse that's been detected by the system.
That's really nifty. And if I'm any particular user using this, but if I'm getting, I assume that also then correlates those all into one case. So if I'm getting multiple reports possibly coming in through an online abuse form from various people out there in the public on the same domain name, I'm not going to have 20 headaches if I get 20 different submissions.
As per usual with Abuse Manager, we apply logic to it, and reports that come in for the same domain name will end up in the same case. You will have one place to look at this. And the inbound email report system is something that we are continuing to develop on, and we see this as somewhere that we would like to be able to receive lists of domain names as well. A common occurrence for our registrar customers is that they get a list of domain names sent to them by a registry saying, we think that these are abusive, could you please take a look at them? And instead of the registry sending this to an account manager who then creates a ticket in their own system or logs into Abuse Manager and creates the cases for these domain names manually, they can now have, they can in the future have the list sent to the inbound email report email, and that will then spawn and create cases and reports for the for these domain names so that they can be properly investigated and taken care of. We are.
That sounds like a real time saver.
Yeah, I think it could be, and we are looking at different ways of extending this. And we do want to do more logic when it comes to interpreting the emails that come in. So I'm looking forward to continuing down that track. Moving on to another feature that is new in Abuse Manager version 2 is the evidence and screenshot support. Previously in version 1, you had every time you visited a case view for an abuse case, it would take a screenshot of the website that had been reported for abuse and show it to you on the page. Now, we have done quite a few different things to this. First and foremost, you can now turn this screenshot support on and off. You can also pick and choose if you want us to automatically blur the screenshot so that you don't have to see the screenshot and in all its full glory, whatever the content of it is, before you are ready to or want to. And these screenshots, we still take one when you visit the case for the first time. However, you can now also use the rule set to say that we want to create a screenshot on every case create. So if you want a screenshot for every case, you can set that in the rule set, and it will take the screenshot that case create instead of when you visit a case view. So there will always be a screenshot, if it's possible, of course. If the domain name does not resolve or there's no web server or website, then we can't really take a screenshot. And another thing with screenshots that we've added is that you can now take a new screenshot whenever you want by just clicking a button in the screenshot section. And this creates that you can then have more than one screenshot for every case, which is a distinctive upgrade from before. And to support this, we created the evidence upload functionality, where all of the screenshots are saved with their timestamp as a piece of evidence in an abuse case. To this, you can also upload your own piece of evidence. If it's a PDF file with communication, or if it's a screenshot of your own, or it's some kind of evidence for this abuse case, it can be uploaded and stored. And it's stored on an encrypted disk, and the file is encrypted, and it can only be viewed from the case view. So it's not like it can be shared, or it could be found on the internet by the world. You actually have to be in Abuse Manager to be able to view this piece of evidence logged in your account.
Yeah, I think the ability to, evidence is a big topic of discussion in dealing with abuse and discovering and being able to make decisions on, placing something on server hold or client hold. So I can also see the need for the ability to at least keep in one place, if it's desired by the customer, all the documentation related to a case. Makes a lot of sense.
Yeah, and really, Abuse Manager version 2 is an evolution of what Abuse Manager 1 was. We've tried to keep all of the functionality that we had and refine upon it, make it better, make it more, give more options, make the bulk edit or the case edit support more domain names. At this point in time, you could probably edit every single case we've ever created with the edit case function, and it would work. It would take a little bit of time, because editing over 5 million cases takes a while, but it would definitely work. We've tried to create as many options as possible when it comes to viewing cases, taking part of the information, exporting cases, exporting the information about cases, and things like that. And I think that's like the big thing with version 2, like improving on what we had and creating a more modern version of Abuse Manager, which also creates a very good base for us to continue development on. Because even though we launched version 2 less than a month ago, we're already working on version 2.1, which is a feature version, as we call it, where we try to add new features that can help our customers. Right.
Yeah. There's no rest.
No.
We never stop. I I mean, I remember the early days of Abuse Manager, when it was Abuse Monitor, Registry Office Abuse Monitor, and it was simply a tool to solve a problem at a very basic, new GTLD registry level, which is, comply with ICANN Spec 11.3b, but also, to be proactive and to be able to deal with abuse, if that's your philosophy and ethos at your registry operation. But it's very apparent to me, and of course I believe to our customers, it goes way beyond just that compliance aspect. The actual ability to manage at scale, and deal with abuse. It's just I'm learning new stuff about it every day.
Abuse Manager is very. It is an enterprise level tool to help basically anyone that has a large amount of domain names to look after, to find out about and deal with DNS abuse. It is, and this is something that we are working quite hard with to make sure that the system works for more types of customers. The small customer, the medium-sized customer, and up to the largest amount of domain names that you can basically have. So this is something I think our customers is going to see in version 2.1, 2.2, and so on and so forth, that we are really broadening up the scope of Abuse Manager. We're adding more tools that is supposed to be usable by most of the people that could find themselves using Abuse Manager.
Yeah. And if anyone wants to try it, there is a free trial where you can go to abusemanager.com and sign up for I believe it's a 14-day free trial we're offering at present, and you can get set up and running in as little as about 5 minutes, I believe, right?
Yeah, that is definitely something new with Abuse Manager version 2 as well, that you can actually, on the website, sign up and get your account provisioned and log in and add a list of domain names and try it out for yourself. It's all very quick and easy to do. To actually try out the service, you will need to add domain names, or you will need to have domain names that we can monitor. But other than that, it's fairly straightforward, and it should be able to give you an overview of what the problem, what the potential problems you might have in the realm of DNS abuse.
Well, LG, thanks for the overview there, and your comments on some of the top features there, at least in your mind. Now it's time for beer. Well, not really. It's here in Austin, it's 8:30 in the morning as we're recording this. I know it's over in Sweden. It's 3 in the afternoon, 4ish.
Yeah, it's 3:30 by now. The issue we're closing in on here is that there's more than me and Pinky that are missing meeting the industry and having a beer together and having a good discussion about domain names in general or DNS abuse in specific, which is why we're super happy that Nordic Domain Days, the Northern European Domain Industry Conference, is coming up again fairly soon. It's scheduled to happen on the 9th and 10th of May 2022 in Stockholm, Sweden, and IQ will be there in our. So it will definitely be a good opportunity to hang out with us, me and Pinky and everyone else.
Yeah, I'm looking forward to it. I think that'll be my first, if not possibly second, venture traveling to a domain or hosting industry related conference. So I'm really looking forward to it. From what I've seen with the events and speakers line up and so forth at Nordic Domain Days, it's going to be a great event to attend. I'm looking forward to it.
I think so too.
Thank you very much for your time today, LG. We really appreciate it. I'm sure we'll be talking again in the future.
Yeah, Happy to be here and happy that you had me, and I look forward to seeing more people try out Abuse Manager version 2.
Yeah, same here. Thank you very much.
Thank you.
Take care, everyone, and we'll see you again on the next episode.
Learn how you can spend less time fighting abuse. Start your free trial today at abusemanager.com. Do you have feedback or topic ideas? Reach out to us at hello@iq.global. And thanks for listening.